gone most of the summer. We had a lot going on. I created a whole school program from scratch this summer for high schoolers. And so, welcome back to the Red Method. This is a long awaited fourth episode. I am joined here today with my dear heart. Can I say your full name?
Yeah, go for
Okay, Mr. Richard Hayes, fourth grade educator here in Oakland, California.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, yes, I'm so happy to have you. We're shooting outside because it's warm in the inside and it's whatever. So, Richard and I love each other. There's like so much constant motivation and collaboration around education. And so I have a few more like classroom management skills because I've been in the field a little bit longer. But he also teaches me things all the time. Like he will always share his knowledge with me, and I'm forever blessed. It's a very collaborative effort. So today we're just going to be in conversation.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we're going to talk about first day of school.
Yes.
Okay, how are you feeling?
With this being my second year in this particular school, I'm feeling actually a lot better than I did last year. Last year I was freaked out because, you have kids who don't know you. They don't have any awareness of you. You're just kind of this new person off the street that they now have to deal with for 180 days.
And listen to.
And hopefully.
Okay.
As they're supposed to.
Yes.
But it was, and I knew that it was going to be a trying time because there was no space of relationship. There was no space of relationship. This year, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I know these kids based on like the kids that you had in your class last year. I know the kids in Turner's class, and so now that they are coming together to make my classroom, these are kids that I know. These aren't just the 28 people that I need to go walk through the door and. No, like I've already seen a few of them and I was just giving them big hugs and all the things because there's already a space there. They already know me. I already know them. So it makes it easier to teach in that space. And I know.
Are y'all clock? What's the thing? Clock it. It's whatever.
This is just an applause.
Oh yeah, my bad.
This is just actually it's just applause.
Okay, but they call it clock it now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Love Island. Anyway, keep going. Okay. Yeah.
And so. With it being easier to teach because I know these kids, it should be easier for them to learn because they already see me as a teacher in the school versus just the new guy.
Yeah.
Is he even going to stay?
And they've had a lot of turnaround.
They have had a lot of turnaround.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Richard. So he already touched on a key point. That is my biggest point. It was my last video, and he did a perfect segue. We did not plan that. We have other things to get to today. But my literal is know your students. If you do not know your students, it's going to probably be contention for the remainder of the year. So what I really wanted to do today was kind of walk through how I do a first week of school. Okay, and so we're going to go through a couple different things. Again, this is Whitney Red with the Red Method. Today is going to be first day of school and first week of school and how we're going to front load these students for success for the remainder of the school year. Okay, and I'm joined here by Richard Hayes, fourth grade educator here in Oakland.
And I also want to throw in that as this is someone that I've seen do it, I've seen her in the classroom, getting them together, even to the point of being able to take my class, who she only had half of the previous year, take them into a space, and I've seen them engage.
Yeah.
I've seen them go from, we're just going to sit here and just look at Mr. Hayes to, no, we're in Miss Whitney's room, we know what to do, we know how to pay attention, and we're engaging, and we're doing the thing, and we feel like we're valued in the space.
Yeah.
So I just want to take the very public moment
Thank you, friend.
to give you your props on that because you're not just sharing this to share it, you're sharing this because you've done it and you know that it works. And if they can just take kernels, it's totally gonna happen.
Oh, I adore him. Y'all see why I'm obsessed? Like, I will not let this person leave my life, okay? And I think that's exactly right. And so I think even in my last video, I was talking about systems. There are systems of structure in classroom management that really go hand in hand with rapport building. And again, I shock myself because of how effective they are because then I just ran a program for high schoolers this summer and those same systems were in effect. And so here's what I want to do. So first day of school.
Right.
We're here. Welcome to the first day of school. So one of my biggest things, and even if you're doing MTSS, which is multiple tiered systems of support, a lot of teachers, and I think it's something that happened with COVID. I think it's something that happened with COVID.
Okay.
parents stopped coming into the classrooms. They weren't legally allowed to come upstairs into the
Right.
classrooms.
Right.
So my first day of school exercise is very almost overpronounced.
Okay.
Okay? I believe every student and their parents should see the classroom that their kid is going to be working out of. Why don't just drop them off? If you're still there when the bell rings,
Then come in.
then come on in. Because as Richard knows, I have a system, and I'm not going to deep dive it today. He
Right.
wants me to say before a later date, but it's called CARE. Say it with me.
Community, agency, respect, and engagement.
And I love Mr. Hayes because he's really taken my philosophy and applied it. He learned it from me last year, and I walked in the next day. He had all the poster boards up about it, and, he meant it. And he's gonna go do more poster boards this year.
Right. We're going on
Because it works. Because it works. Okay, so community.
Yes.
Who's a part of our community? Who are you in service to, or who are you a shareholder to?
I mean, because what happens is that let's go micro to macro.
Okay.
So micro, we're starting off with each individual student, depending on where they are, dealing with different socioeconomic spaces, different ethnic spaces. We have newcomers, which is more of a educational categorization, but they are new to the United States or new to California, and so they are not familiar with the language, or even if they are, they're not familiar with the customs that are here. Some of the unspoken social cues that we have here, they're unfamiliar. So there's a lot of that. Then we have in our school, we have mainly Latinos who are anywhere from.
I'm not talking about the demographic makeup.
I know.
No. I was just talking about what would you consider, what would you define as the community in macro? Like, what would be the macro?
Okay.
So, say you got students, that's a layer. Who else is a part of the community?
Then we have our teachers, our paras, our support staff. Then we have, of course, our administration. I mean, and by staff, we also mean the janitor lady. We love Miss Joanne.
So here's where I want to stop him, because there is a very simple question that I was waiting for an answer. The parent. As a shareholder, because I am in service to this parent as well as their child. I don't have to deal with them all the time, but their child is here. And so, and you're right, it is all the people who are on staff and who are there daily, from top to bottom, whatever.
Right.
We don't believe in hierarchy in that way. So this is why I bring parents down to the first day of school, of class. So my phone number's on the board. I do an icebreaker with parents.
Okay.
With kids and parents. Okay. So, and it might make them uncomfortable. They might be shy, but this is how we're going to learn that this is the place where we're going to all engage together.
Okay.
And if we see that students and their parents are like kind of collaborating together, then the students, or they see their parents participating, then the students feel safe to start to participate.
Okay.
And then there is buy-in, right?
Right.
So you can ask them like 2 fun things. Hey, what's your name? Right. How do you know this student? Because it could be sibling, it could be uncle, or guardian, whoever the guardian is. And then you say, tell me your kid's favorite food, or your kid's favorite book, or video game.
Okay.
Or what does your child like to do? Just something, like a positive thing to start the school year off positive and have the parents invested.
Right.
And the kids seeing that their parents are invested in their academics, because I do think that after COVID, I used to know that a lot of more kids used to come in with their parents. They walk into the door, but you couldn't do that before. That's why lines line up outside now, where parents used to walk kids to doors.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all of that is to say, first day of school, first morning, everybody, the bell rings, there's a morning announcement. If you're here, come on down.
Right.
And we're going to spend about 30 minutes together. You can do whatever. Do you have any questions? Is there any way? So here's what I say, okay, let's do the icebreaker. Then I also set up my skills as a teacher. So my name's on the board, my phone number's on the board, so you can access me. Please make sure that you have it.
Yeah.
Then I have them text me in that moment, exactly, or call me in that moment.
Okay.
And I save their numbers. Actually, I do a thing before that. If I'm on their Aries, if I can go to their data thing, I actually save their phone numbers in my phone, like today. Like yours, like, because you have access to your Aries.
Of course.
So everybody's actually in my phone already, unless it's a different number.
Oh, wow.
By the time the first moment they come into my class.
Okay.
That it's alleviating, because what do we need to be in? Communication.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be looking and hoping, and you're like, oh, I didn't know my or I didn't know teacher, like I wasn't informed. Oh no, but I'm a texter. I'm gonna let you know, and we're gonna have a conversation. And it's not even about negativity. I almost want to pray. Your baby's had a first wonderful week of school, first beautiful day of school. We have parent-teacher conferences. Please let me know when you're available. Like, it's a must in my class to have parent-teacher conferences. So I start off with, I actually am going to make sure that he has all his students' phone numbers in his phone today.
Right.
And then, but just verify with parents, making sure, hey, text me just so we know that, here's my phone number, text me and make sure it's the same numbers.
Right.
It's a lot of information, but again, my systems are to front load so early on that we don't have to think about it. We're not picking up later.
Right.
We're not trying to scramble later to go find how to reach this kid.
And which is definitely something that popped up last year, because I knew where to find them. Yes, yes, I would send message on Parent Square, which is an app that we use in our district.
I've never used it. I always have their phone numbers. I've never used Parent Square in my life.
Okay, and so
but it's a tool. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so I would send messages on Parent Square. I made sure they had my number on Parent Square, but not every parent has Parent Square. Not every parent has access to a smartphone to be able to download that app. And so it was about the middle of the year before I started getting like, no, please text me. Da, 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 da. Here's my number. Da, 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 da. And actually making sure that when I was reaching out to parents and they were being able to reach out to me, it being able to keep those systems open. What also helped is that because we have a lot of Latino students, and I'm better at writing Spanish than I am to speaking. Oh yeah, like try to get me into a conversation.
Yeah, but Google Translate, just sending the messages and stuff.
Yeah.
That was for Parent Square, is what you're saying.
Oh no, for me, I'm actually really good at writing Spanish.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm like, I got it down for the most part. So
nosotros podemos hablar en español. Algunas veces. Él pueden leer. Okay. He understands everything. He understands everything, but he has a little bit of an inhibition around speaking it himself.
Yes,
okay.
I mean, so I can, mi leo, mi escribo mucho y hablo.
Sí, yo sé. Pero está bien, él vamos a practicar y este año con los niños y va a hacer mejor, ¿sí? So that's how I got better. I kept having students and I kept being like, can I speak Spanish? Because I need to practice my Spanish. And they allowed me to, or I talk to their parents, they're like, profe. And so it just gives, but yeah, we also have translators and stuff like that. So,
right.
Okay, so back to the situation. So their number is already in my phone. Yeah. That's already an eliminated automatic process, and so it's not convoluted, and we don't have to wait for the middle of the year.
Right.
Off the plate. We're in communication. Hi, this is I text the kids the night before Sunday. Hi, parents, this is your teacher, your student's new teacher. My name is Ms. Whitney. I'm excited to see your students tomorrow. I'm looking forward to a beautiful day. Please save my number, and let's go. And we need constant communication, and a lot of it is about positivity, so that when I do need to change or correct some behaviors, they would have heard me be positive about their child a lot sooner than the first time when most teachers text or call, which is negative.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now everybody's in the classroom.
Everybody's in the classroom.
We did an icebreaker.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me your name, blah, 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 and your very favorite thing. Then you have my number, I have your number, and then we make sure that we're having, and actually you should have a sign-up sheet first day to sign up for parent-teacher conferences. So you should actually have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 1:30 to 3 available in slots, and maybe have it on the door, have it pass around as people are doing the icebreakers, so that it's not confused. Like, this has to be... I did a thing about 2 years ago where I started saying, I cannot, and it's not to be a terrible person. I said, I can't care about your babies more than you. And it wasn't like that. Zaretta Hammond, who was my favorite, you guys know I talk about her all the time, CRT in the brain, she literally said, there was like these teachers who used to say, my parents don't want to be involved. I don't think they knew that they could.
Right.
Because especially after COVID, they weren't allowed in the classrooms for like 2 years. I remember a girl's mom at my last school, she wanted to walk her baby, to physically handhold her, walk her up the stairs, and she couldn't. It was illegal.
Right.
And so now I think that got into the habit, and so now we're still teaching elementary school parents, and they're like, well, we don't go into the classrooms. Imagine you dropping off your child at school and you don't know what that room looks like. I couldn't do it.
Right.
So, just telling them that it's important. This is why parent-teacher conferences are super important. It's your child, me, and you. We are a triad. This is not just me and your child, because then when I have homework assignments, the kids don't know how to do it. Who are they gonna ask? Okay. So during parent-teacher conferences, I have all of these conversations about who can help. Is there a sibling in the home? Do we need to sign them up for the after-school program? What's the solution?
Right.
We're always solution-based. Like, I'm a big problem solver.
Yes.
So, okay, so nobody in the house speaks English. Okay, cool. Are you able to enroll them in our after-school program and get tutoring? support and then come pick up. You know, you might have to leave early or whatever, you know, but can we get some support for them earlier rather than later, and then
right.
not giving them the tools or resources they need so that children can be successful? Because these kids, once they know they can, I have an open door policy. Everybody doesn't. I think Mr. Hayes has. He said a little finagling on it.
Yeah.
His class was a large class last year, and so it was, I think, just spacing in reality.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have 2 less students this year than I had last year.
Yeah.
But just in the spacing of desks has opened up the room so much.
I saw it was gorgeous.
You know,
It was gorgeous.
And so, but even with that, I was like, oh my goodness, wait, ooh, okay, I can actually do this. I think, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I love the way you said it. It looked gorgeous.
And so, and I appreciate that. And so, yeah, so that's definitely something I'll be doing.
Everybody doesn't have to have an open door policy. I just feel like, and so there's no pressure. Maybe once a week there can be like a drop in versus like all the time, because sometimes kids like get distracted by parents or whatever else. I have very clear expectations. If you're coming in, you're here to help.
Right.
Like you're here to actually support. Can you actually? I don't. Your child is actually doing quite well. Can you come help this baby over here who needs to learn how to read and do his multiplication and division? If you're gonna come in like this, but this is how we move because we're a community. So if we all gonna be here,
then let's be
we
here.
all gonna be here, and we're not gonna be distracting. It's not so your kid can get specialized treatment. It's because we all want to make sure that the babies are learning, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which also I will throw this in. Please make sure that you know the volunteer policy at your school.
Oh, come on. He is okay. So he's a contract expert. That's okay. I'm a teaching expert. He is a contract expert.
Yeah, and because the beautiful thing is that I totally had, I think 2 of my students last year had a family member or 2 who set up regular volunteering.
Yeah.
Every Monday and every Friday,
Consistent.
I had somebody who was in my classroom that was a parent or guardian, but they went through the process of being able to be volunteers.
I actually appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
It was a beautiful thing.
No, I appreciate that. They actually Miss Caitlin actually had to go through the volunteer process. She taught science, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
so, yes. So make sure you know what your policies are. Sorry, my personal. However, things are different. So yeah, I appreciate that because the caveat: be careful and just make sure you know that kids are safe and everything like that. So day 1, hey, how you doing? We know each other. We have phone numbers. We make parent-teacher conferences, and then, thank the parents and say, have a beautiful day, send them on their way. And now it's time for us, the student and the teacher to interact.
Yeah.
So, but we make sure the parents know that they have to be invested because this is the type of class where we all somebody gonna be invested. And that's not just the teacher and the student. Okay, that's
totally. Yeah.
So next is social emotional learning. So this is what all of these books are here for. So there are 5 competencies.
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. So the 5. Number one is self-awareness.
Good. So you can read a book, I Am Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can read What I Like Most. Yeah. And there are so many other books that you can read, but these are the 2 that I brought today.
Okay.
They just literally talk about kids knowing themselves. Okay. So self-awareness.
Okay. Second one is self-management.
No, hold on. Let's go through self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Yes.
So, did you have the competency pulled up? No, I have it.
You have it. But even with that, we cannot move into any other aspects of social spacing until we are first in the spacing of being aware of ourselves. We have to know ourselves. Our kids need to give permission, because we make the assumption as adults that because we've given ourselves a space of agency, that we can just say, hey, I can just do, I can be, I can feel, but we learned how to do that. We gathered the skills,
our voices and stuff like that,
to be able to do that with children. And yes, these are 9 and 10-year-olds, but with 9 and 10-year-olds, you have to explicitly invite them to be aware of who they are.
Because you're still training up the skill set.
You're still training the skill set. We're still developing the voice.
I love this.
And so we're still giving them the space to say, you are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be aware of what that feeling feels in your body. You are allowed to interact and know how that feels and how that, because sometimes the wiggling fingers could be emotion of sadness.
Yeah.
As well as, oh, we're excited. No, I just have to do something so I can distract myself from what's going on. If they don't know themselves in the language that their body tells them about who they are and how they operate, then the other pillars won't even be be able to function.
Know thyself, right?
Right.
And then my biggest thing is know the kids. But how am I know the kids if they don't know themselves? Because
Right.
I can't learn from them unless they learn what they. Okay. So, and I think Richard is correct. So what is going to happen is self-awareness.
Yes.
And certain books, and then what's the second one? Self-management.
Self-management.
Which is I Believe I Can. Okay. By Grace Byers. So it's just like putting the mental in behind it, saying that I know that I can do this work, and the effort and the fortitude. And so, and managing behaviors. So I can.
Yes, I can.
And where's the LeBron one? I'm just all over.
It's down there.
Okay, sorry guys. I had too many books.
I will also throw out there that if I would have like been fully aware of myself before making this recording, I would have brought the book that I just ordered called The Magical Yet. It actually just got to my house yesterday.
Okay.
Which is all about the power of the yet, knowing that you haven't learned it, but you will because you haven't learned it yet. It's not that you haven't. It's not that you won't, but you have it yet.
I love it.
So.
No, and listen, when I tell y'all, I'm not like saying I love it just to love it. I actually learned so much from this person. Like they pour into me constantly, with like just you were even just saying just even breaking down. I know I do the social emotional learning stuff activity with my students, but I don't always think about like yes, because they don't have that skill yet. I think about like, keeping your hands and feet to yourself or saying please and think like manners type of things, but differently than like, self-awareness. Like, duh, they're still kids. They haven't even learned to know themselves yet.
I mean, we talk about all the time when we start dealing with the 0 through 5.
Yeah.
We have to, one of the things, especially around age 4, 3 to 4, but being able to understand the strength of your own touch. It's when you start when your older toddlers, younger kids start interacting with babies. You always have to tell them to touch nicely.
Yes, because they want to push the face too much or something like that.
Because they are not aware of their own
So,
strength.
Look at this
And
man.
so,
See? Clock it. He hates it. I can tell he don't like this clocking thing. I don't care. I watched Love Island this whole summer.
Oh, Lord.
This is just quick, really self-management. So it's teaching them how to like I promise and the I statement, right? And so it's like it's not about what other students do, it's about what I can do. So this is self-management. I promise to work hard and do what's right to be a leader in this game of life, okay? So this is self-management with I Believe I Can, right? These are I statements, which so these first two ones are self, right? What I like most and I am me. These first 4 books, these first 2 competencies are I statements, self, yes?
Right.
Before you can go to the other parts,
Right,
right? So
right.
define you, make sure you're good.
Right.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then being aware of the I, being aware of like a single tree allows us to then go and scope out into the forest. Then being aware of other people, because next would be social awareness.
And there we go, social awareness. Okay, I'm gonna stop clocking it. I apologize. This is my friend. He make me comfortable.
And so being able to understand that
this
you,
is that one.
Huh? No, that's the one after. No, this is one.
It's that one. Okay, you'll get to it. Okay.
Nope, it's the next one.
Okay, keep going.
That's the next one.
Okay.
All right. So once you understand that you can be aware of yourself, then you are also giving them permission to be aware of their surroundings, not just their personal surroundings, but the full scope of what they can see. If you can see the 4 walls of your classroom, are you aware of what's happening in the 4 walls of your classroom? Are you aware of who's in the 4 walls of your classroom? Are you aware that you are
a part of
this space?
Yes.
You have as much power and voice as a student as I do as the teacher, which is why our classroom space is collaborative.
Yes, it is. This is the book. It's a mix between.
It's a mix between, yeah.
So this is this is self-awareness and social awareness, right? It's una mezcla.
So, and even more so, with it being a mix. And that's one of the things that I have to work on because I will hear it in Spanish and respond back in English.
Okay, that's okay.
But also, it's going to go into our next one. So I think I want
What's
you to...
the next one?
The next one's relationship skills.
Okay.
You see how that...
So I'm talking about social awareness, right?
Right.
Okay, so what book would you provide for social awareness?
That is it. I know that you have that one.
So I forget sometimes that this book is actually assigned for it. It was like one of the, because it doesn't have anything to do with people. It literally is just talking about the different bugs and how they coexist in the world with each other.
Yep.
And they all have different things. Some people, some bugs bite, some bugs sting, some bugs fly, some bugs swing, like whatever that stuff is. And so it's just letting you know what your surroundings are and that you are all a part of one ecosystem, right? And
Right.
so the ecosystem in this point in time is this classroom, and then that furthers out into the school, and then to the larger community.
Of course.
And so this is just a very simple one for some bugs, for social awareness. Now, social awareness is one of the biggest ones, and it is a mix between like social awareness and responsible decision making, which is why we kind of like have some like a little bit of like which one is the best one for this. Because I also have Jamaica's Blue Marker, which is the one that I often talk about, which is for, this is relationship skill building.
Yeah, and that's what this one is too.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So let's jump. Let's jump
Okay.
since we seem to be flowing into it.
Let's do it.
Ooh, no, we're gonna keep this on. Thank
Okay.
you,
Not
sticker.
30 years.
Right? We're gonna keep this on here. All right. So the reason why I called this a definite mix.
So read the title.
This is The Rainbow Fish, and it is by Marcus Fisher. And so the reason why I consider this is a mix between social awareness as well as relationship skills is because the whole spacing of this is how are you then relating to your environment.
Got it. You're not outside of it. You're in it as well.
You're in it as well, and your place in it, and what does that mean when it comes to the energy that you give out into the space that is your environment? Are you giving too much energy, which is super possible?
That's what this book is. Giving too much of yourself.
Giving too much of yourself. When again, if our main character was self-aware, then in their own self-awareness they would not have given as much.
Yeah, they could have given and been out in community, but without taking away fully from themselves. And so they gave of themselves in spite of who they themselves were and what they needed to be for themselves. For their actual health, right? Like their physical health, like all my shiny scales are gone because everybody wants it.
And I'm nice enough that I want to give it.
Yeah.
But
boundaries mean I love you.
Boundaries mean I love you.
Limits mean I love you, yes.
And so what happens that those are relationship skills building.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so that's why I said that it's that mix.
See, he's so good. Yeah, I think you're completely right. I think sometimes I have a hard time because, and this is the part, okay, so it's relationship and social awareness, and it's self-awareness. So it's like all three in the one vein in this one book right here. And then Jamaica's Blue Marker is really just about being compassionate about people who are like different than one another. Like I've talked about this book, and I always ask kids, because I don't try to, and this is the other thing, I might read a story, but I'm going to prompt questions. I'm not going to put any of my input on it at all. I'm going to read a story. I'm going to show the pictures. I'm going to let them look. Okay. You got some ideas? Okay. What do you think about that? It's all open-ended questions. And then towards the end of the book, I'm going to ask some open-ended questions. Okay. Well, how did you feel about that book with Jamaica? And then, I'll have them turn and talk to their neighbors. Maybe it might be uncomfortable, but like this might be day 4, right? So they might be a little bit more whatever.
Right.
How do you feel about Jamaica? Or how do you feel about this boy? Is his name Kevin or something? Russell. I couldn't remember. Russell, okay? And
right,
so,
Russell.
Okay, Russell. Sorry, we're outside and there's some people hanging out in the pool. Good for them. So Russell is like going through stuff at home, and he's bringing it to school because that's as kids do, and we need to be aware of that and mindful. But Jamaica's also a student, right? And she's having a hard time because he's destructive of her property, and he has no consideration or mindfulness for it. And so this is why I really think it's important. Maybe this is more social. I've always said it as responsible decision making, but I think this might be. It's not responsible. Relationship skills. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I'm on relationship skills.
Yeah.
So getting to know, I think once Jamaica starts to learn what Russell's going through, and like we as teachers and educators are not going to tell business, but I think when we sit in classrooms together and we continue to share space with one another, that we provide time for kids to feel in community with one another, especially as they're getting, because they might have been in a classroom together before and still never spent time with that person,
Yeah,
that they're
totally.
that, you know what I mean, because they're just different, and so they picked their cliques and then they stuck in their cliques and then they didn't. So just the more exposure. This is why I like to mix up my table groupings. I don't like to have besties. It's not to harm y'all. It's to make sure that we're like, because then like other cool kids like that you just never gave a chance, or brilliant or bright or whatever kids are available.
In the same way I do, I let my kids know at the beginning of the year, listen, these are your table groups for right now. I will change them 2 more times in the school year.
Yeah, every trimester.
Every trimester. And so be prepared
Yeah.
for the fact that there is going to be a mass disruption in the face of you guys are not going to be sitting here.
Well, so Richard and I are quite different on that, only because I'm not trying to throw you in the
No,
bus.
no,
I love
no,
things.
tell me, it's fine.
So we're going to be looking at data also. So data is huge. I brought my index cards and stuff. So again, one of my 7 strategies for student success is heterogeneous groups, and so sometimes you can't mix them up that much. I guess you can move every green and switch it, and every yellow move over 1-7, and every red or something like that. Because heterogeneous groups means that their grades need. You don't want kids all at one reading level, all at one math level at the same table. You want to get a mix of it so everybody's learning from one another. Some kids have higher level word recognition, but lower level, not as much comprehension. Whereas kids who are maybe haven't gotten to learn how to read as well, but they listen. That means they actually picked up the skill of listening and comprehending more.
Yes,
because that's
high
what they have to.
comprehenders,
Yeah,
low readers.
Yeah, so they have to. So you want to mix up those groups. Okay, so that's really one of the things about data, and we'll be working on that today. Okay, so relationship skills. So self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and finally,
decision making.
Responsible decision making. And so this is my absolute favorite book. It's called Speak Up. And it's basically teaching kids how to have agency, power, know that they are leaders, and that they can take care of themselves and their communities. So like when something about this kid who fell in the mud, right? Playing soccer, so now his butt looks a little brownie.
Right.
So are we gonna bully him, or are we gonna be like, bro, we know he just played soccer. He was a beast out there. He was going hard. Right. So we're teaching them how to be non-bullies, and make wise decisions about how they use their words, their hands, their feet, paying attention in class, right? And so it's just speak up when somebody says your name wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes,
this one is
definitely.
When a rule just isn't fair or has gotten much too old, speak up, work for change. Justice comes when we are bold, right? And so if we're giving the kids the tools to know that they actually, and I always say this, Paulo Freire talks about change agents. If students are given the power to, like, we're working to change them so that to help them be change agents themselves. I don't want to just teach to so you can read and write. What are you going to do with that? How are you going to do it? How are you going to apply this information? Are you going to go be a scientist and help save the world from global catastrophe or whatever? I don't want to get too jaded. Or are you going to go read and be a lawyer and go save students? Or like, how are you going to apply this knowledge? And so we teach them the skills to have agency over their own learning and their own behaviors. So, and there's a whole bunch of behavioral books, you know, I'll take a picture of all of them and put them somewhere. But there's so many behavioral books about saying yes, and thank you, and please, and may I, or thank, like, my biggest is please and thank you.
Yes.
It's so simple.
Oh my goodness.
It's the simplest one. And my second is accountability, like agency.
Yeah.
So when you did something, okay, do you know my second rule? My number one rule is we do not fight in this class. That is a very clear, psychologically unsafe.
Right.
My second rule is about when I pull you to the side to speak to me.
Tell the whole truth.
Tell the truth.
Right.
If you lie and I have to go digging and you now wasted my time, you're going to be in a lot more trouble than if you just say, yes, I did it. I accept, accountability. I'm going to be working to change the behavior. And then, there's a smaller consequence. However, if I have to lie, I have to go deep dive, ask this teacher, this student, and you taking out time when we could have just moved past this in 3 minutes, and you would have only owed maybe 5. But now, why are you wasting my time? Why are you wasting your time? Let's make some responsible. One of those is telling the truth.
Yes.
A responsible decision
Yes.
is telling the truth, being accountable for your actions, and then let's move forward. Yeah, I'm not gonna point at you and be like, "Oh, you did that yesterday." I say I start fresh every day. Today, because you didn't lie.
Right.
We got the stuff over, and guess what? Tomorrow's a fresh new day.
Exactly.
A fresh new day.
And so again, it definitely helps when again we're teaching the skills, and we as adults have to remind them that they have the right to have the agency to tell the truth.
And make the space safe enough to tell the truth. That's one thing I really appreciate about you, though. Even as a new teacher last year, you still were like, just tell it.
Just tell me, please.
Because you solution based like me.
Right.
We're like, because we're gonna find the problem, solve it,
Right.
and then move on. Tell the truth though.
Right. Because if you just
It's not easy, but it is uncomfortable. You're
It
right.
is uncomfortable,
Because
yes.
some kids have learned to lie as a protection mechanism, right?
Right, especially in a lot of our inner city spaces, telling the truth is not necessarily met with positive reinforcement.
Oh, that's right. It's like snitching or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
So between snitching, or if you tell the truth, X, Y, and Z is going to happen, and then it's going to be your fault. And now there's a space of blame and a space of trauma that's surrounded upon telling the truth when you feel like you are in trouble. Because again, they have been conditioned in those spaces.
Yeah.
And so now we are counterbalancing.
Wow.
And again, for every negative, you have to circumvent it with like 10 positives.
And that's why I say I positive reinforce early and often. Early and often. That's why I say stickers, tickets, a treat or something early and often. And then actually by the end of the school year, they stop asking for tickets. They just handling business.
Right.
But when you're trying to change behaviors in the very beginning,
Yes.
positive, with a bit of a consequence ladder, giving them a little space to make a mistake. Like,
Right.
hey, yeah, I did hit all last year. My baby's better. Okay, they ain't going to Mr. Hayes' class acting fool. I lied because then I thought the ones last year was going to be good. Anyway, I love them all. But I agree. So making the space. So even if they, whatever, but for the 6 hours out there with us,
Right.
or more, making the space psychologically safe for them to tell the truth.
Yes.
They might have to change, code switch, or whatever they have to do when they go home. But in this space, in this classroom, because learning is paramount,
Yes.
this is a space where we tell the truth.
Truly.
And you are rewarded for being honest and changing your behaviors rather than being punished for it.
And it's when we are able to sit in the space of these 5 pillars, if you want to call them pillars, it makes the space safe enough to learn.
Yeah, because now I know me.
I know me.
I can manage me because I might say, and then you have I tell them to speak up. If like
Right.
you say, oh no, I need this to be successful, Mr. Hayes. If we're gonna take it, we're gonna have a collaboration. I'm not gonna give you 20 extra minutes, but you might need an extra bit of this.
Yeah, that's fine.
You might need to run in the morning, do a little sprint. You might turn it into a game. So, but you know what you need to do to manage yourself because we've kind of talked about it.
Yes.
So this is the first 5 days of school. I literally read a book. Okay, no, I read the competency on the board. The competency. So speaking up is for what? Responsible.
That's responsible decision making.
Right. Do you have my phone?
No, it's right here.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm gonna just go real quick. This is super long. I didn't mean for it to be this long, but you know what? We're in it because it's first day of school, first week of school, and this is how we're gonna do it. Okay. So they having fun.
I love
Okay.
that. I love it. Come on.
So this is. Let's just start with what I like most. Okay. Day 1. Okay. What I like most: self-awareness. So literally, the competency says students can communicate personal interest, identify personal strengths and weaknesses, and understand their own emotions and responses. So this is written on a whiteboard for me. You might put it on an anchor
slide,
chart, like an anchor chart or something like that. Anything that you can access. And then I literally ask them to turn and talk. What does that mean? And I did this in my last video. Students can communicate. Okay. So I might even just say those 3 words. Students can communicate. Okay, turn and talk to your neighbor. What does students can communicate mean?
Yeah.
Give me an example. You're in it right now.
Oh, that we can use words to talk.
Who is we?
We are students.
Who is we? Who are students?
Students, all of us.
Ooh, I'm not a student in this.
Well, then that means that everybody in the space can communicate.
It says students can.
It does say students can.
I'm just messing with you. I was going to say kids. Like just something small so that
Yeah.
they know who the students are. Or like I like to say, well, who is it? And they'll say everybody else, whatever. I'm like, and you?
Right.
Right. So me too, students. Who's a student? And
Right.
then they'll look around like that's a dumb question because they think it. Because
Right.
they're like, but I'm like, I need to be very blatant about
Very
it.
explicit, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Explicit is a good word. So students can communicate, and you said to talk with one another. Is that what you said? Good. Personal interest, or well, is communicate is not talk in this way because personal interest. So personal interest. How would you define personal interest?
I would define personal interest as just anything that we like.
Perfect.
Yeah, just
Okay. So the kids can talk about things
Things
they
they like.
like, and then identify personal strengths. So what's a different word for strengths? Things I'm good at,
right.
right? And weaknesses, things that I need to work on. We always want to reframe it, not as necessarily okay. We always
Come on,
want to.
come on, ELD format.
You know, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I do. I do an
Right.
ELD lesson at the
ELD format. Come on now.
Period.
Come on now.
Period.
You better chunk it.
I love it. I chunk and chew. Okay, I chunk it and I chew it. Sorry, but yes. So actually, that's exactly right.
Okay.
After the parents in, we did the community meeting. This is the first lesson that I teach, and it's an ELD on the board lesson where it's oral communication. They are not doing anything but reading and turning and talking to their neighbor
Right.
and breaking down this sentence so that it becomes student-friendly language. And then after that, I don't. So again, I'm not giving them the answers. I give them the competency.
Right.
We talk about it on the carpet. Then I read the book. Okay?
Okay.
Again, I don't put my input on the book. Okay?
Right.
But I might pose the question on the board. What do you like most? And then they can just think about it for a while.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, think, pair, share. Totally.
Yeah. So just being like, okay, so first they read the competency and they need to apply it. I might even have them be like, who can turn that into one sentence in student-friendly language? Because I've written on the board.
Right.
So I can communicate is I can discuss or speak whatever, and I literally write speak where communicate is or
Yeah.
whatever, like show,
Yeah.
right? Okay, students, people, like kids or whatever. So I do an ELD lesson on the board, then I read the book, then I have the students draw a picture of them, self-portrait of self-awareness. What are you aware about yourself? So draw your face, and you can do it however you want, but draw your face, a little circle, it doesn't have to be perfect, and then whatever floats your boat. Books, music, food, jump rope, video games. I just want to see it and your
Right.
name on there, period. Like
Right.
this is you and the things that you like. It might be family, like they love their parents, right? They love
No,
their
they do,
siblings.
really do.
They are invested, okay? They're like my mama, my daddy, my uncle, my cousin. Like,
Right.
so just give them as many, give me 10 things that you love or like about yourself. Self-portrait with their name very clearly on the wall, okay? And then that's going to be on the first, it's going to be under the title. I posted on the poster board outside the classroom and everything, under self-awareness. And so, but it's art also, right? So we've done a ELD where it's just our oral
Right.
communication. Now I've read to them,
Right.
and now instead of, they don't have to turn it into sentences, they can turn it into pictures.
Right.
Before it has to become abstract, it can become pictorial.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Totally.
Yeah, and then that's it. That's my first, this is how I go through my social emotional learning. And by the time you have breaks and you done met with the parents and you done did those things, so, and then you can read another book if you want to.
Okay.
And that's how I do it. So I go through each competency. We literally, and I'll write down it in the comments below. But hey, read the competency, break down the competency as a class, read the book, talk about the book as a class,
Right.
do the art, present the art.
Right.
If you're okay. And this is the
Yeah.
first day, so they might be
Yeah.
a little shy, but for those who might want to, and then
But
post
but
it up.
that's perfect for a first week. They just got finished dealing with summer lab
Yeah.
because
Learning loss.
we always deal with a learning loss during the summer.
About
Kid-
2 or 3 months behind.
And so because of that, it allows them to get in the space of how can we get back into the space of school.
Yeah.
I know.
Without it being like heavily curriculum, like super,
Right.
super dark. I'm not dark, but like stuff they ain't ready to be ready for.
Right, like I know that I'm gonna do on the first day a 1-minute word challenge,
Okay.
where for 1 minute I would want you to write every word you can think of.
Oh, fun.
Just write them. Go for it. 1 minute. Let's do it.
Just go.
Because that builds, that starts building writing fluency back. It starts building the stamina for being able to be focused.
Oh, you just reminded me. I lied. There is academic added into it.
They're always.
In 3rd grade, there's the thing called the gist.
Yes. The gist.
Sorry, and okay. I'm all over, guys, because I worked with high schoolers, and so I'm not back in elementary school mode yet. But who, where, want, problem, and solution. So after I read the book, Who was this story about? Where was this located? What did they want? What was the problem? What is the solution? Using the rate strategy, and then they just that way they are getting back. But it's about a book about social emotional versus like a academic curriculum. Yeah. So I like it's a lot. Okay, art, sentences, reading, and oral communication. It's all week one, and week one is minimum days. So it's a lot going on. Please ask questions in the chat below. Okay, and then finally. SEL is very important, but when you're about to have, now the day's over. It's 1:30,
right.
And now you got your first parent-teacher conference.
Yes.
And what is my thing to, what's the strength of mine, supposedly?
It is your strength, supposedly?
I'm just asking.
I don't know why it's supposing.
Okay, he's going to cut. Okay.
Right. So, data.
Data.
The data, what is the data on our children? What are their tests looking like? What is their attendance looking like for the past year?
I taught them well, y'all.
And I know that we are getting close.
Out of time. Okay, so let me just give a thank you so much, Mr. Hayes.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually nerding out because now that this is done for me, I can't wait to go see his student data. I am a nerd for this stuff. I love it. I just like it brings me joy. I like science. I like figuring out how to find, and the data makes you become a problem solver.
Totally.
Like you can find a solution because you now know the data, what you're working with.
Right.
So we're very solution-based people, so it brings me a lot of joy that he's allowing me to support him in this. So I'm super excited we're about to finish, y'all. Okay, so again, this is the Red Method, episode 4. Today we talked about first day of school, first week of school.
Yes.
Bring the parents down, icebreaker.
Yes.
Okay, make sure your phone numbers are all there.
Yes.
Everybody has communication. Sign up for parent-teacher conferences Monday, period. We're all in this together, okay? We're community. Then kids, bye parents, we love you, have a great day. Kids, come to the carpet. We're doing the ELD language on this social emotional competency, self-awareness day, Monday.
Yeah.
Social self-management Tuesday. Social awareness Wednesday, Thursday.
Relationship skills.
And Friday.
Responsible decision
That's the one. And then if you do really well with all 5 of those, you might even get a little fun Friday after Friday. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a treat to get it well. And then front load again with a lot of positive stickers in the very beginning. So then we're on the carpet, ELD, okay? That's them turning and talking with another and turning that competency into an internalized student language, like student-friendly language. Then after that, you read the book. Hey, this is the book. Oh, do you want to turn back? What do you feel about this? Da-da-da. You can just, but don't put too much of your input in it. Then you write, you ask the gist. Who, where, want.
What did they want?
What did they want?
What is the problem? What's stopping them from getting what they want? And then how did they solve that problem?
In this book, right? And so focusing on, there was a little girl named Lucy. She's in a garden. It don't have to be super convoluted, especially for this part. But what does she want? Oh, she wants to make some friends. Oh, okay. Well, what? Or she's lonely.
Right.
So what's the problem? She wants to make some friends. She doesn't really live around a lot of people. So what does she do? She ends up befriending like an old lady or something. Like you don't know what the story is going to talk about, but she's building social skills and talking about how to find solutions. Okay. Then after that, they draw themselves. They draw them in a social situation. Color, art, front load with like good stuff. Good energy, pictures, drawing them, seeing themselves in that vision of the social emotional, and then even at the end being like, go home and write something else or talk to your parents about it or something like that. Just anything that's going to keep them engaged, so they're starting to internalize these social emotional skills. And then parent teacher conferences, and you already have your data, and you already got their phone numbers because we're about to go put them in his phone right now.
Yes, we are.
Because you're going to take away a lot of the stress. Also, line order, table groupings. I wish it's too long for us to do it right here, but we're going to heterogeneous table groupings, line orders that make sense, and jobs assignments. Like we come that first week, everything's off their plate, but there's structure. Carpet in college ready still, voice level 0. He had his call and response he was ready for. And so all of those things that are in episode before, you guys can go back to them. But I'm just saying for now, week 1, day 1, first week of school, front load with community building. Social emotional intelligence, learning, building up those skills, and practice and persistence. Patience, practice, and persistence. Those are it, because then, like I always tell people, I come back, that we can go away anywhere.
Right.
And I come back, and they still have the same understanding and expectations because it's been front loaded so early in the school year.
And that's really the point.
That's the point.
That's the point. And I will say, as like a little freebie, make time to listen to your kids. Make time to listen to them. And let them know that, hey, in this space, I'm gonna just ask you some questions, and I want you to be able to just tell me whatever. Make time. They need to know that you are wanting to listen. They need to know that when you listen to them, it's not just gonna be okay. I listened to you, now it's done. But sometimes they might need to see action. They might need to see change. So take the time to listen to your students.
I love that, and I'm like, okay, because then we're gonna deep dive. Okay,
Right,
we're
right,
not
right.
gonna go there. All I also want to just incorporate real quick is play, a version of play. If you can find an activity that matches, we actually have the mindful kids. Do you still have those mindful kid
No,
cards?
you have them back.
Oh, I have them. I don't
You
know
have
where they
them.
are, but there's like some about calming yourself.
Yes.
But some of them are about being like, what kind of animal are you in the jungle, and then you move to the jungle, and you make it into a game. Anything that can make it into a game,
Do it.
or even making like self-awareness. Okay, let's go outside and put a race, put it on a line, and you say, I love to read. Okay, run. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
relay or something. Have teams and being
Yeah.
like, say what the competency you're talking about, only social emotional learning. No math or English has been introduced at this point. So you're just talking about your social awareness, your social emotional learning for these kids. And so incorporate games as well if you can. So I know it's a lot. I'll put a little outline below in the video because I really care about this stuff. I left my school last year, and so I still have these skill set. When I'm moving on to a different, still teaching, but it's not elementary. And so I just want to, but I still love it so much. And it's applicable. I worked with high schoolers and early college level students this year, and everything that I do for third grade, I tailored it to make it a little more, non-kid,
Right.
but everything, engagement, participation, expectations, y'all taking the reins. Y'all have agency and power over your learning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force feed you. What did you just read? How did you know what I mean? Turn and talk to your neighbor, triads, collaboration, all this stuff is transferable. It goes with you. It can go.
Yeah, it
So,
really can.
Anyway, I adore Mr. Hayes. He's a fantastic person, and I think I'm just really happy to hear about and see. Yes, there may be some hiccups, but I'm not even trying to put that out there. I'm saying I'm really excited because he implemented so many strategies last year. He wants to take it in. He wants to become a better,
Because
it's important to him.
yeah, the kids are important.
Yeah, it's student-centered, sorry. Okay. Anyway, this was Red Method episode 4, data and rapport building and social emotional week 1, week day 1, all the stuff. Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Cheers to a beautiful